If you've been wondering how to stay strong, how to stay prepared and independent in your 60s and your 70s and beyond, right? Without exhausting yourself, because, whew, yeah, that sneaks up on you pretty quick. You're in the right place today, my friends. Yes, you are. Today, we're going to walk through the practical life skills that make the biggest difference, I think. Like food preservation, kind of the off-grid basics, you know, even if you're not off-grid. Frugal habits, because we all need them. And the tiny daily actions that keep us confident, calm, and in control. Because that's what we need to be. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness. And so today, I thought that we would chat while I prep a few different things. The heating element on our oven went out. Second time in 3 years. I'm not happy. But I had meatloaf down on the menu plan for tonight. So I am going to make meatloaf, and I'm going to bake it in the air fryer because that's why the air fryer is there. Gotta love it. So I thought that we would chat a little bit while I'm doing all of that. Aging brings different things, doesn't it? Yeah, I just love it. When Phil looks at me and goes, well, you know, you are getting older, and he's still able to walk after saying that. So I think I show great restraint, right? But you have to think about your energy level. You have to think about mobility issues, right? And these skills will allow us to simply stretch our resources. And that's what it's all about. Because by being able to stretch our resources, we live longer, happier. Many of us grew up with some of these, but might have lost touch with them, right? Look at. The new chickens are laying little bitty eggs. Yes, they are. So we might have grown up with these resources and then just lost touch with them because, you know, life changed, circumstances changed, that kind of thing. And so we didn't have to do them anymore, possibly. We rose above them, possibly. Or, you know, we did stick with them. And this is a nice little refresher course, so to say. Whoop, come back out here. Okay, so we're going to break this down into a few different areas just to make it a little easier. And first, closest, nearest, and dearest to my heart, we are going to chat about food preservation. Yeah, I know. So when you think about food preservation in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, okay, because what I love is hearing from some of you that are like, I'm 85 and you taught me how to can. I'm 75 and you taught me how to can. You can do it. Yes, you can. So we can keep learning. We can keep doing things that keep us more independent, less reliant on the world at large, right? And we have to figure out what's realistic for us and go from there. So we're obviously not going to be canning up. Why did I not open this before I got my hand mucky? Okay. We're not going to be canning up like a young mom who has, you know, 7 kids or 2 kids or 3 kids or somebody who works full time or, you know, whatever. The different life stages that everyone goes through. We're in a different life stage. We're at a different point in our world where we have to look at things a little different, definitely smaller. And I know that that is a struggle for me. And I was reminded of it just literally a few minutes ago because I went, wow, that really has small trays. It doesn't hold as much as I thought it would. Is that going to be enough? Because when I do stuff big. When I shop for beef, I go once a year and get beef. When I shop for pork, same thing. When I shop for chicken, same thing, you know. And so when I do things, I do them in a large quantity because then I'm reducing the number of times that I have to do it. And so I always kind of, you know, go big. And when we get to a certain age and thus a certain lifestyle, we no longer need to do that. And it's a really hard habit to break. It's a very hard habit to break. So it's something to be aware of and how we can, you know, change and what we need to do with it. So small batch canning. You don't have to do 20 jars. You know, you can do 5, 10. Freezing. Freezing is a great thing. And dehydrating. Yeah. Because those are easy to manage ways to put food back for life's little emergencies. Because the older we get, it seems the more frequent the emergencies come along, you know? So we want to take care of that. We need to find ways to be energy efficient, like using our air fryer instead of our oven, even though when we want to use our oven, it doesn't work. Okay, so finding ways to be more energy efficient as we get older is big. You know, the appliances, the electric stoves, or the air fryers, or, you know, all the different things, right? The countertop dehydrators. There's so many different things that you can use that make it easier and less use of energy. You know, not as much energy. Not that you're going to eliminate it, but less. And that's kind of, it's getting more important with what they're charging. Meatloaf. Okay. So being able to dial that back. Guess what? You don't need the great big stove. Well, I do. Darn it. But, you know, I may have to change that stance. We'll see. So being able to pick, you know, the energy efficient appliances and use those as opposed to the stuff that, you know, a family of 10 needs to use. That'll make a big difference. When to preserve versus when to buy shelf stable is a big quandary, okay? For me it is. I don't know if it is for you. Because if you've reached a point where you just don't feel safe around a pressure canner, you know, then maybe it is time to just buy the pre-canned meat. You know, the commercially canned meat or the commercially canned fruits and vegetables. Maybe just it's not possible to stand over that canner for that long, or to grow it and harvest it and can it and all, you know. So if that's the case, then, you know, that's a decision that you need to come. We're all running different paths in this world. And so you need to do what's best for you. And the really fun part about getting older is that we can do what we want. And one of the things that we learn as we move forward is that we don't have to preserve what's in season, right? We preserve what we eat. We preserve what we want, not just what comes in season. And that will also help make a really big difference, because that window is typically kind of short, you know, on when everything's in season, and it's chaos. It is absolute chaos. And so being able to sit back and go, you know what? I only need X many jars of green beans to get me through 6 months to a year. I don't have to can every single thing out there, you know. It allows us to make educated choices about what we are actually going to consume. And that's important, because a lot of people end up getting into this and going, I'm going to preserve all of it, and then don't use half of it. That's, yeah, it's a waste. It's an absolute waste. So only preserve what you eat. It gives you a sense of freedom and knowledge that you actually know what you're eating. I always keep these around, and now I have 2 little mini meatloaves. Ridiculous to put into the air fryer. But you know what? We're going to have one for dinner tonight, and we'll have one for Phil for sandwiches tomorrow, because meatloaf sandwiches, baby. You've seen the saying that, you know, the best part about getting older is losing everybody else's opinions about how you should be doing things, because what they think doesn't matter, because it doesn't. And that goes for even if you're not older. Keeping up with the Joneses, who cares? We don't even like them half the time, right? So that especially applies when you're looking at how you're going to maneuver through the golden years, okay? You want to look at budgeting and frugal living. So, air fryer. The whole homesteader, self-sufficient, you know, lifestyle kind of thing is not about the biggest and the best and the prettiest and who cares, you know? The best homesteading movement is the frugal homesteading movement, not the fancy one. Nobody cares about fancy. Seriously. Who are you impressing? I don't have to impress anybody. I'm good. I have to impress myself. That's hard enough. One thing that can help you go along with this, with the budget and the frugal living, is a price book. You got time, you do, to make a price book. Write down what it is that you buy, how much it costs, how much it is per unit, where you got it from, you know. keep track of those records, and that'll help you move forward with your decisions on where you need to buy it, when you need to buy it, what time of year it went on sale, how much you actually go through, that kind of thing. You definitely want to take time to learn to stretch one ingredient 3 different ways. And you can do it with just about everything, you know. You can stretch one ingredient 3 different ways. Something as simple as, well, oatmeal, okay? So it is a filler and a binder for meatloaf. It is also in the peanut butter balls that I'm about to sit and make. And it is also breakfast. It is also dessert. It is also granola, you know. So figure out one ingredient. Throw in the comment section down below. One ingredient that you can make 3 different ways. That's affordable. It doesn't get much more affordable than oatmeal, right? It's great. We have the time. We can shop the sales. We can grow a few things to can, even if it's on buckets on the balcony or whatever. And we can trade with our friends, our neighbors. You know, hey, I have a whole bunch of zucchini. You want to trade? They probably have a whole bunch too, but you know what I mean. You know, you can trade with your neighbors or your friends for different things. You know, I've got an apple tree out back. I legitimately can't pick it anymore, but if you come over and pick it, can I just have 25% of it and you can have the rest to put up the way you want? And that way the apples get picked and they don't go to waste. It's a great way to get to know people and to make use of the resources that are there. Peanut butter ball time. Mending and repair. Oh my gosh. We have forgotten a lot of stuff that our parents and our grandparents used to do. I'm totally Gen X, you guys. I am that feral latchkey kid, you know. I get it. And there was stuff that we knew how to do because we had no choice. We had to know how to do it. And so I think for a lot of us, we got to a stage where we went, I don't have to do it anymore. And so I'm not going to. I've literally been doing it since I was a kid. And then all of a sudden we're here and we go, oh God, I used to do that. I need to figure out how to do that again because, yeah, it saves a lot of money. Guess what? Yes, it does. It saves a whole bunch of money. So keep clothing and linens out of the landfill. Do you know how much that stuff ends up in our landfills? It's almost as criminal as the food, really. So mend the clothes, mend the socks, get rid of the underwear. But, you know, mend things, use them, beat them to death. Are you trying to make a fashion statement or are you trying to get stuff done? You know, that's what you have to look at. And if you're trying to be a fashion statement, then go on, go ahead, do it. But it still would be better to buy quality and make it last a really long time. Phil and I made a trip into St. Vincent de Paul, I don't know, about a month or so ago when it was like 900 degrees with 1,000% humidity. And I went down an aisle that I almost never go down, and I saw this jacket, and I'm, shush. And it was a Columbia wool jacket. I think it was camo. I'm going to have to go dig it out now. And it was 100% wool, and I found the pants that matched it. And I'm like, even if I can't wear these, I'll flip them for the price that they were asking for. I'll flip them in a heartbeat, right? Brought them home, and as soon as it cooled off like 10 degrees, I said, okay, I got to try this on. Oh my gosh, it fits like a dream. I am so happy. I will die in that coat, literally, because it's going to outlast everything else. And am I going to keep the pants? You know it. It snows. It's Michigan. Yeah, I'm going to keep the pants because I think it would be a riot to go down to the Christmas parade in town wearing that outfit, you know, just rocking my wool outfit. Yeah. Do I care what anybody else thinks? No, not until they start paying my bills, and they don't, so I'm good. So, you know, that's a quality, that's a quality piece of clothing that will literally last me 20 plus years if I take care of it. Who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to go, please don't make me try on anything else. Please don't, you know. Make it so that you only have to replace the absolute necessary things. Like when Phil drops something on his leg and rips a hole in his jeans, you know, not just a little hole, it was a big hole. Know how to make those things last. Know how to mend them. Hand sewing, patching, replacing buttons and zippers. Can you do that? I know. Fixing small tears, small ones, not ones that big. You could do that too, but yeah. You know, just knowing how to fix the small problems. Buttons, zippers, tears, hems. You hate it when the hems come out of your pants? Hate it. Can't stand it. A basic toolkit. Everyone should own a basic toolkit for home repairs. Even if it's one of those ones with the flower handles. I'm not kidding you. My tape measure is still flying around here from back in the day, okay? All flowery and pink and stuff. But, you know, a tape measure, a hammer, a couple of screwdrivers, that's all you need. Maybe a little level to make sure the pictures are hanging straight, you know. That'll help you stay on top of your game, make sure things are taken care of, and gives you the tools necessary for emergency purposes so that you don't have to call somebody every time something comes loose. Another option, I had to get my recipe. Okay. Another option also is our health, obviously. And so learning more about herbal remedies is fantastic. It's so useful and so good. And the more that you learn, the more that you delve into it, literally, we cannot drive down a country road anymore without Phil going, "That's mullein." And I'm like, yes, it is, you know? So learning these things and then what they're good for and how to prepare them. We were going to sleep the other night and he said, "You could freeze dry mullein." And I'm like, yes, I could. And I could freeze dry comfrey. Yes, I could. I could freeze dry all the herbs and everything else now. Yes, I can. When am I going to do this? I have no idea, but I can. So learning about those herbal remedies, because with any kind of, you know, lung congestion, that kind of thing, mullein is fantastic for bruises and sprains and, you know, muscle issues. Yeah. Comfrey in a salve is fantastic. Having those freeze dried and sitting on your shelf ready when you need them. Yeah. And they didn't cost you anything except pulling over or getting them out of your yard to make it. And learn a little bit. Pick up a couple books. There's some really great books out there for learning more about herbal remedies. A gentle skill, you know, it's really a gentle skill that supports your health and reduces pharmacy dependency. Is it going to replace it completely? Not nowadays, not at this stage of the game, you know, but it reduces how much you need to be in there. So if you can grow a small indoor herb garden in your windowsill, chamomile, peppermint, thyme, you know, make a salve. Learn to make a tincture. Make some soothing tea. Chamomile is super easy to grow, by the way. Those are easy recipes for beginners. It's a great launching pad, kicking off point for learning more about herbal remedies and how they help. And as we age, we need all the help we can get. I am making peanut butter balls. Peanut butter balls. I'm going to make some without the protein powder that Phil wants to drop off to some of his pals. And then I'm going to make some more with the protein powder for Phil here because he plowed right through the last batch that I made. DIY versus delegation. We have to know when to do them, you know? There are times when you have to go, no, this is not really something I should be doing. This is not something that I know how to do. This is not something that should be trusted to me. 4 and 5. Okay. And that's when we delegate. Yeah. Because knowing the difference between when you should DIY and when you should delegate will save you a lot of time and hassle and, believe it or not, money. Because if you try to DIY it, you could mess it up worse. And then that's going to cost you even more money, right? Understanding our limits, knowing our strengths, knowing our weaknesses, being real with ourselves is going to be really important moving forward. That was 5, right? Yes, I'm multiplying this by 5. Thank you. And why it's essential now, why to start thinking about it now, regardless of where you're at, is because injury recovery takes longer after 60. It also takes longer right before 60. So the older we get, the longer it takes us to recover from injuries. Energy is seriously precious. Things like this summer with this heat has just drained us, and we just don't have the energy that we're used to having. I've never had the weather impact me the way that it has this year, you know? So depending on who you are and what you're used to, energy is precious. So spend it wisely. And definitely delegation is a strength, not a weakness. Any good leader will tell you the same thing. Any good leader knows that if they want to have a winning team, they need to be able to delegate. And that makes the entire team win. It makes it more efficient. It makes it more cost efficient, time efficient, everything. And you end up with a better product. It's not a weakness to delegate. It's not a weakness to say, I can't do this anymore, or I don't trust myself on that anymore. And I'm going to give you a really great example here. With my shoulder injury, okay, I called up the gym and I said, hey, George, I need to pause my membership because I tore my rotator cuff and I'm not going to be able to do the workouts that I'm used to doing. Not a problem, not a big deal. And so one of my friends said, well, couldn't you just go there and do the treadmill? I love walking a treadmill, don't get me wrong. It's not the same as walking outside. And so when the weather's nice, I love to walk outside. But in the wintertime and the bad weather, I will jump on a treadmill in a heartbeat. But I am not as sure-footed on a treadmill as I am on the road. And I have discovered that about myself over the last couple of years. I am not as sure-footed on a treadmill. And so my fear at this point is that if I am on the treadmill and I misstep, my instant reaction will be to use my right arm, my dominant arm, to help prop myself up, which will cause me greater injury, okay? So I know what my strengths are, and I know what my weaknesses are. And I don't want to do anything that would further hurt myself during this recuperation process. Am I going to go out and walk 3 miles on Monday with my pals? Yes, I am, because I'm sure-footed walking down the street, just not on a treadmill, So it's a balancing act, but it's being real with yourself, knowing that you could possibly cause yourself further injury if you do something. And wouldn't you rather heal completely and then do it? Yes, as a matter of fact, I would. Thank you for asking. So how do we approach this? We approach this in a few different steps, okay? Ask, is it worth the strain? Is it worth the DIY, instead of having somebody come and help you? Can someone else do this faster and safer than I can? Anybody can do anything electric safer than I can. I guarantee that. So yeah, it makes sense to have somebody come in and help me with that. Can I change a light bulb? Yes, I can. So I'll change a light bulb. You have to be honest with yourself. You really, really do. The next one is, examples like a pantry inventory. Because, I'm always saying, don't know what you need if you don't know what you got, right? Seed starting, organizing supplies. These are great DIY projects to do. You can do those. You don't need somebody else to come help you most of the time. I know there's probably a few people out there with mobility issues where that would be helpful to have somebody. So if it's helpful to have somebody, you know that. And I know some of you have commented and told me that as a result, you did have somebody help you. But, these are things that you can still do yourself to stay on top of your preparedness skills without having to delegate it out. Delegating examples, roof repairs, just don't, okay? Hauling heavy things, lifting heavy things, moving heavy things. Don't. That's a great time to delegate. It's a wonderful time to delegate, okay? Build a helper list. This is not something you're going to come up with overnight, and you don't want only one person on there to abuse, You kind of want to go, hey, can you come help me with this? I could really use a hand, if it seems to fit the relationship you have. Hey, I have this going on, and I'm wondering if you might be able to take 5 minutes and come help me with that. I'll bake you a pie, Whatever the case may be. Build yourself a helper list. Family, neighbors, paid help, barter partners, okay? Though that kind of list is going to get you over some major humps. It really is. And next is to trade your wisdom for time. You've been around here for a hot minute. Share that wisdom. What kind of thing are you passionate about? What do you know about that other people are always interested in? What can you teach somebody so that they can be more educated and move forward with their preparedness or life in general, okay? So trading your wisdom for their time is a strength. It's like baking somebody something for mowing the lawn. I traded a rhubarb strawberry pie for 2 new rhubarb starts with my friend at the farmer's market, Happy to. I like baking, number one, and she likes rhubarb pie. So it worked out really good. And I got 2 new plants because she who dies with the most rhubarb wins. Yes. So definitely sit back, think about it, figure out when it's best to DIY and when it's best to delegate. Don't give me excuses. I don't want to hear the excuses. You can always get something done. I promise. Learning new skills. Yeah. Learning new skills is a way to stay forever young. Well, not forever young, but pretty close, okay? Because if you can keep your mind and your body active, then you are way ahead of a whole bunch of people. I have seen way too many people that literally are just, it looks like they're biding their time just waiting to die. That's no way to live. We don't want to live like that. Don't live just waiting to die, So getting out, learning new skills, learning how to do different things is a great way to have, to keep going. And it will introduce you to new people. And how you meet your people, you have people to meet your people. So definitely. How do you keep learning and adapting new self-sufficiency tools? Oh, super simple. It's so much easier than you think it is, okay? Lifelong learning keeps the brain sharp. I'm telling you, it keeps the brain sharp, okay? And your spirit's lifted. When you're learning something, you're engaging and you're activating that dopamine in your body, and it just makes you so happy. It just makes you so happy. I need a spoon. So definitely, get in there, learn something. Do you know most areas have ham radio classes that don't cost near nothing to participate in? You don't even have to go buy ham radio. Just go take the class, okay? You meet people. Go find out what classes they're teaching at your local library. Do they still have night school where they teach classes? I don't know, because they don't do it here. So, that's an option too. It's a great way to keep engaging your brain and your body, and it will lift your spirits like nothing. We live in an information-rich stage. We really do. There is information everywhere, whether we want it or not. Okay, that's 5 times 3 is 15. This is good. Okay. With all of this ready information at our fingertips, literally, okay, it's never too late to start something new. You want to learn how to make soap? There's a gazillion places online to learn to make soap. Doesn't cost you nothing except for the supplies to make the soap, okay? So learn how to make your own soap. Learn how to, sew on a button. Learn how to crochet. Learn how to knit. Learn how to draw. Oh, I wish I had the talent, okay? Learn how to do all of that crazy fun stuff because it's free. It's the information age. We have the internet. Yes, we do. The really cool part is that skills equal confidence during an emergency. Skills equal confidence and calm during an emergency or during just day-to-day life. When you have skills, when you've taken the time to learn stuff, then less and less is going to rattle your day-to-day, because you know what to do. So how do we approach this? Let's start first with online learning. You've heard about YouTube University, right? Hi, my name is Lisa. I teach canning and how to prepare. Online learning, just that simple. YouTube, Skillshare, Craftsy, free courses by the Extension Office, if your Extension Office does that. There's all kinds of opportunities for free learning, and they're all over the internet. You just have to ask Mr. Google Pants or whoever, and it's just another opportunity to learn something new. And you want to find instructors that you resonate with. Now, as we get older, I have been told that we prefer people who talk slower. I don't talk slow. I really don't talk slow when I'm excited about something. So you have to figure out who resonates with you. And that's the cool part. Everybody resonates with somebody else, So you may not like the way that I teach canning, but you like somebody else's way. You may not like the way that somebody else teaches it, but you're like kind of okay with me until you find somebody else, Everybody has somebody that they resonate with, and that's a really, really good thing. So you want to find speakers or instructors who speak the way that you like to hear, okay? And clear, and that they demonstrate visually how to do different things, because I know I'm a visual person. Visual learning is very helpful, and that is, I think, one of the reasons why YouTube has been so successful for the decades is because it is a way to visually learn something, because sometimes you just need to see somebody else doing it in order to have it wrap around your brain, you know? It could be that whole Gen X thing, who knows? You can also look for local workshops, like I said, your local library or senior centers, garden clubs, even your hardware stores. Did you know Home Depot teaches classes? Yes, it does. Check it out. You might be able to find something on how to build a birdhouse and have a whole new income stream from that, you know? There's all kinds of different ways to take classes. You definitely want to try some intergenerational mentorship. I love it. Offer to trade wisdom with younger folks. So if you know how to can, and the young girl next door wants to learn how to can, then maybe she can help you change the light fixture and you can teach her how to can. Or maybe she can help you rake the yard or do the garden, or, you know, mixing it up, not just hanging around people your own age, because that's not fun. Having that mixed generational circle is beneficial for literally everybody in it. If you want to teach, you guys, grab your cell phone, grab your webcam, start a YouTube channel, or offer classes. Offer classes, you know, hook up with the library and teach something out of the library. Offer to teach classes through the adult ed. You know, you have a wealth of wisdom that you could share. Teach people. It's a great way to meet people. One of the bonuses to this is that it reduces loneliness, okay? It enlarges your circle, and it helps to build community. You have to people to meet your people, and that's really a great way to do it. Peanut butter. Basically, when it comes to people, don't overthink it. Get out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There you go. Thank you. New math. And now we mix. Okay. With our left arm. Okay, next, look at some off-grid prep. But I don't live off-grid. I don't even want to live off-grid. Why would I do off-grid prep? Well, because they have some cool and nifty stuff that we can learn, okay? Preparing for short-term disruptions, especially as we get older, is it's a skill. It's a serious skill. Power outages, storms, etc., without fear or overwhelm, because nobody has time for fear or overwhelm, okay? It's a great chance to learn how to do all that stuff, and the best teacher is off-grid. Off-grid means no electricity. You have no electricity. None, I tell you, none. So let's learn some off-grid skills. How do they do it? How can we adapt it? Let's find out. Because the truth is, you know, why it's essential to learn it at any age, but especially as we get older, is because older adults are more vulnerable in power loss situations. Whether it's from heat, whether it's from cold, whether it's from air quality. I mean, any number of things, right? So because we're more vulnerable, we need to know more about it. So mobility, medications, warmth, they all require some pre-planning. You don't just learn it as it goes. You have to plan for it. You have to anticipate the fact that it's going to happen, because it is. At some point, you're going to lose power in the middle of winter. At some point, you're going to lose power and you're going to have to figure out why your mobility scooter doesn't work, you know? At some point, you're going to have to figure out how to get the medications. It's one of those things that you're just going to have to do. So if we do like a prep light kind of thing, it's enough to be comfortable, but not overwhelmed. I'm not asking you to be a doomsday prepper. I'm just asking you to get a little bit prepared. That's all. And you will feel better for doing it. So let's talk about how to prep light. Prep light. She comes up with some of the goofiest stuff to talk about. I know, right? This is just an easy, not overwhelming way to prepare for anybody, but it's especially beneficial for older people, okay? So number one, solar lights and lanterns. That's exactly how hard it is, okay? Solar lights and lanterns. Those are fantastic emergency lights if the power goes out. They are fantastic to keep your power bill down because, instead of having night lights plugged in, having some kind of battery operated candle or solar light, you know, to get you through the dark parts of the night, huge help. And so easy to maneuver, and they're not expensive. So definitely check out rechargeable lanterns, motion sensor. I've got solar motion sensor lights outside. They're fantastic. They're really, really good. You want to charge them with the sun. Obviously, they're solar, so that there's no wires, there's no electricity, none of that fun stuff. And they will be remarkably helpful. The best thing that I have done, if they're not solar, is those batteries, those candles with the batteries in them. They're like for indoor, outdoor, and they have timers on them. So in the wintertime, I will actually set them to turn on at 9 p.m. and they stay on for 6 hours. And that way there's some kind of light so that I'm not walking into furniture and stuff. Has it happened before? I'm not going to tell you. Seriously? Battery backups. Okay, battery backups are very helpful. I actually have been walking around with one today. I think I took it to town with me. A battery backup for your phone. All you have to do is leave it plugged in, and when the power goes out, you have that battery backup for your cell phone or any other little thing that you might need. Battery backups are huge. Okay, so knowing that, I mean, again, this is prep light. This is not, you know, the grid's down, we're all going to die. No, this is the power went out and I need to survive a day or two, you know, so that's what we're looking. Know how to charge the essential devices that you use. That's where the battery backups come in. So you want to check into those. Heatless cooking. Is there such a thing as heatless cooking? Number one, like I say, fondue pot. Super simple. Fondue pot's so simple. So get yourself a fondue pot, get yourself some tea light candles, and you can heat up a little bit of soup. Get yourself different, you know, whatever works for you. You want to make sure manual can opener, no electric can opener, okay? No cook meals. What do you eat that's no cook? Peanut butter, hello. Something. It doesn't have to be a gourmet meal. It has to be sustenance so that you don't die, okay? So just no cook meals. Single burner butane stoves, that kind of thing. They have them all over the place. I'll leave some links down below for you, but a fondue pot will serve you very well for heating up a can of soup. And it's kind of a no-brainer. Shelf-stable, just add water options. There's all kinds of them. And if you can create a 3-day no-cook meal plan and make sure that you've got those ingredients in your house and those methods for doing it, you're golden. Prep light. You just want to prep light, my friends. Water storage. We will be doing a very in-depth water storage video. It's coming to you next week. So hang out with me for that. But for a prep light water storage, okay, water bottles are fantastic. That 40-pack at Wally World is like under $6, and that's 5 gallons of water right there. If you can't lift that, because not everybody can, go smaller and do the math, okay? So keep 2 weeks worth of water, and that's 2 gallons per day, however you can do that. I don't have room for that. Okay, fine. Then keep 1 gallon per day per person and have a filtration system set up for any other water that you have to do. It's a matter of layering as far as, you know, your water goes. You want to have water. You want to be able to filter water. You want to be able to purify water. So if you can set those up so that you have that tiered, you know, method for it, then you don't have to store as much physical water on the premises. Use a countertop Berkey system. You know, it's I have a link down below for Alexa Pure. Thank you. They're great, fantastic. Same kind of system. You can get the small one. You don't need the big one. You know, you're good. You want to make sure though that you are rotating through your water every 6 months without fail. Just rotate through it. It's not hard. Drink your water. Have you heard about the 5-minute rule? The practice of doing small. The 5-minute rule, okay? consistent prep tasks every single day. The 5-minute rule. Spend 5 minutes every day working on one aspect of your preparedness. 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes, don't you? So, one thing. Why? Because momentum beats perfection. If you haven't learned it by now, you may never do it. That we are not perfect. We will never be perfect. To strive to be perfect is ridiculous. So don't do it. Okay. How's this taste? Okay. I'm talking too much and not paying attention to my recipe. So you want to set up 5-minute tasks every single day, okay? The 5-minute rule. 5 minutes today, I'm going to work on my water storage. For 5 minutes today, I'm going to work on my inventory. For 5 minutes today, I'm going to learn a new skill. It's 5 minutes. You have 24 hours in a day. A simple thing to do, because I think that, like when I talk about inventory, I think people think that you have to get in there and get it all done in one day. That's not the case. That's not the case. You have to work at your own speed, your own pace, okay? So, 5-minute task. Wipe down your pantry shelves. Sharpen your kitchen knives. Because we never get that done until we absolutely have to. Check your flashlight batteries. That's a great 5-minute task. Label and date canned goods. Super good, okay? Watch one short how-to video and see if you really still want to do it. Write one prep item on your next shopping list. What is something that I need to get on my next shopping list? It takes less than 5 minutes to do that, right? Fill one water bottle or emergency jug. It's that simple. So you can do it. Yes, you can. A notepad or a small erase board or something like that. And make a list and just check them off. You will feel so accomplished. I have to get my hands into this. I got to focus on this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to throw out the whole thing and start over again. So just to kind of wrap this up, self-sufficiency after 60 is about choosing what to do, okay? How to do it smarter and why it matters. That's what self-sufficiency after 60 means. You're not behind. None of us are behind. We're all at different points of our learning, our living, and everything else, okay? You're building differently, and that's really all that it is. And that's a strength. That's a superpower, my friends. So pick one skill to learn or one habit to begin this week and throw it in the comment section down below. Let me know what it is. Toss it out there. Make yourself a little bit accountable. It's a good thing. We'll be working on some more videos in the future about calm prepping, you know, because calm prepping is important. How to build a calm backup plan for power outages, weather, chaos in general, because goodness knows we have enough of it, right? Remember that self-sufficiency doesn't end at 60 or 70 or beyond. It just evolves, just like we are. If you want to see some more videos where I discuss self-sufficiency while we're aging, check out this playlist right here. And until next time, everybody, be safe. Keep stacking it to the rafters, my friends.